time for a fresh start. Too many podcasts with too much promotion. Welcome to the Gearbox Podcast, where it's just me, a technician turned shop owner, bringing you real-world insight without the fluff. No sponsors, no gimmicks, and nothing I haven't personally used or believe in. This is the raw side of the industry. You'll hear growth as it happens, the wins, the mistakes, and everything in between. It's mostly unedited, straight-up conversations between me and other leaders in the field who are actually in the trenches with the wrenches doing the work. No scripts, no filters, no sales pitch. Just real talk from people who live it every day. Today's episode, we got John Firm in the house. He's got his relative, Dawn Sloas. If you don't know John Firm, you may know him as Buck and Bob or Buckaroo Bob. He's got Firm Automotive out in Texas. He brings decades of experience to the table and lots of training as well with the Texas two-step training that they do out in Texas. He's been bringing his relative there, Dawn Sloas, with him. And she brings a lot of different perspective as well as a lot of knowledge to the table as well. So buckle up. Let's get into it.
Third one, ain't it?
Third one, yeah, because we did it with we had
Jeff
Rick
Buckley.
White.
Rick White and Jeff Buckley in this one,
right.
yeah.
Oh, Rick's a powerhouse too.
Oh,
you know what I like about Rick? He'll look at you, Buckaroo, Buck and Bob, and he'll be like, "Shut up." He'll tell you. He'll be like, "No." I like Rick.
That's how you know. That's how you know you guys go way back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good guy.
And that's John Firm Buckaroo Bob. I didn't know that was his real name until like about 2 years ago.
Yeah. When we was at Mars. Yeah.
Oh yeah. People will stop me and be like, "How's Bob doing?" I'm like, "Who the hell is Bob?" Oh, he's messing around like always.
That's
getting
branding
into
right
some
there.
trouble. Oh
That's
yeah.
branding.
But I get confused. I'm like, "Who the hell is that?"
Well, speaking of who's who, Dawn, this is our first time meeting. So
It is.
how do you pronounce your last name?
This is a fun game I like to play. How do you think it's pronounced?
Slow ass.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna make it a little Frenchy, like Sloas or something like that.
You know what? I like
Sloas.
that. No, most of the doctors calling me Miss Slow Ass. I'm like, yeah, that's me. At this point, I'm just, yeah, that's me. It is pronounced Sloas.
Sloas, okay. It's like Sloan. I guess that makes a
Yeah,
lot of sense.
Sloan, but for people, for kids that want to get bullied in school. Yeah.
Oh my
But
gosh.
That's just not right.
School.
I know.
You
But at this
remember
point,
school?
yeah, not that long ago.
Every day's a school day.
Yeah, when you're
Every day.
learning.
Oh yeah, she
Absolutely.
just got through all of her finals and stuff. You ain't been able to talk to her anything for the last couple of weeks because she's doing
No.
school finals and stuff.
Yep, I decided to go back to college because the first time I did it, sometimes you're too young to be doing what you're supposed to be doing, and that's kind of how I was doing it. I messed around in college and didn't finish, so I decided now to go back. And man, technology now where you can just go to school online, that's been awesome. That has been great. I've been at home just doing school stuff. I don't have to go in anywhere. I can be in my pajamas. It's been fantastic, but it's also kept me busy. I've been at home.
Well, I've seen a lot of the high school kids wearing pajamas to school, so I don't know if that's a trend or.
Yeah, not they would have gotten
pants
me.
are like the new trend or something. I don't understand
Maybe.
that at all, but as long as you're going to school, it's all that matters, right, John?
That's all that matters. As long as
That's
you're
all
getting
that
that
matters.
education, you're getting that training. You know, I'm 61 years old, and I
Yeah.
still do
Sorry.
training. I just got back from a big event in North Carolina with Josh Purnell. Now, you know him, Limited
Yeah.
Leadership.
That's
And
right.
then I was at Tools 2 weeks ago. I was there with Rick. And so training goes on, and it's never over with training. If you think it is, it's time to think again.
Mm-hmm. And
Like my good buddy Jim Morton says, training doesn't cost, folks. Training pays.
That's right.
Pays good, too.
And I wanted to ask again. Yeah, it is our first meeting. Do you go by Jim or Jimmy? What is your preferred?
I've been called a lot worse, but you can
Oh,
call me
okay.
Jimmy. Yeah.
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Jimmy, do you go to these big event trainings like Tools and all
I
of
do.
these?
You know, that's funny you brought that up because Mike Cleary was just here in the shop and was smogging the shucks, right? And he'd brought that up. He's like, "You're going to be at ASTA this year," and you know, I hate to say no without it sounding negative, but I just kind of how it comes across, right? So like, I'm going to go to Apex this year. In fact, I'm doing a keynote speaking event at Apex. I have another one at the ACSS ASCCA. Is that right? Got my
Yes,
acronyms
that's
all
right.
screwed up now, man. ASCCA. ASCCA. There it is.
You
I know that
got
didn't
it.
sound right. Anyway, so I'm doing some speaking there, and I like going to Apex because it's close, right? I'm in
Yeah.
California.
Mhm.
And it is a big trade show, but there's a lot of networking, and that's what I really look forward to. I feel like some of these bigger events, and I don't want to like shout out which ones they are, but it just turns into more of like, hey, this is what I can offer you. Do you want to sign up? And the
Mm.
technical training is fantastic. I'm not really looking for technical training anymore. I'm looking for business ownership, management stuff, leadership. Like Josh Parnell is doing great stuff with limitless leadership, stuff like that. That's what I'm looking for now. And that space is really just a lot of dangling the carrot and then, hey, pay us, $2,000 a month and we'll tell you more, Granted, there
Yeah.
is a lot of good information that you get, right? I've had conversations with Rick White and it's like, oh my God, some mind blowing stuff, right? Like that's what I needed to hear. But I don't know if I need the cadence of like that monthly call, right?
Mm.
Just sometimes I get stuck after a couple months and I need a fresh set of eyes. Okay, that's really helpful to have that 10-minute conversation. I understand his time is worth money too, so it's just hard to justify that, in a sense. So I did to get back to it. I guess the trade shows they just turn into kind of a big marketing fair, and I'm like, I don't really need to spend time and money walking around and getting stuff thrown at me. But then I'm stuck because I'd like to go out there and meet people like you guys and be able to network and shake hands. So it's
Sure.
definitely tough, but it's like how many of these can I go to and how much is that going to cost? Where I need to really be sending my team to this stuff and not me. Does that make sense? So
Mhm.
it's
Absolutely.
it's a conversation. I was just talking about it. It was like going in circles. It's like I don't know. For me, I'm going to pick one this year to go to, other than Apex, because that's Apex team was like a shop thing for us because it's so close. And then just pick one other one to go to.
So
Gotcha.
you've missed Vision. That is your next closest one.
Yeah,
And you had the summit event in Colorado with ASA.
yeah.
That was in January. Okay. So what's left coming up is going to be all on the East Coast, unless you're going to go to the World Pack deal. And that's going to be on the East Coast, isn't that like in Florida?
I think it's in Florida, yeah, for
Yeah.
RSAT.
And then Beamers is coming up in Austin, Texas. I don't know if you work on a bunch of BMWs or not.
No,
And Transmission AST,
ASDA.
yeah, that's going to be in San
That's no.
Antonio in September.
Oh, for the transmission, yeah, the
Yeah, the
transmit
transmission
stuff.
guys.
Yeah, that's right.
That that's going to have a ton of training at it.
Yeah,
Okay, and there's going to be drivability and transmission, both training, and a lot of business management people are going to be there delivering some messages too. Um, Marianne Cochran's going to be there. The Amazing Women in Automotive, Birdie's going to be there with some training classes, and all that's about leadership and stuff like that. But I'm like you. I'm not interested in going to listen to Brandon Steckler talking about uh, how the scan tool doesn't lie, because I'm not going to pick up another scan tool for a while.
yeah,
But I'll sure jump in a Rick White class and learn how to save a little money or make a little money or get that golden nugget like you. And you once you got to know these guys and you know what classes they're doing, you know what's got new topics in it.
yeah. That's
And
true.
that's what I like seeing, the new topics that are coming out. Because, we're dealing with a younger generation more and more and more every day, and we need to know how to adapt to what they're giving us. And like you said a minute ago, Josh Purnell's delivering a great message to help us look back at that and look at the younger people. So
Mhm.
if you come to ASTA, I'll save you a bunk in my motorhome because I'm going to be there.
Oh, there we go. That sounds like a great time.
That sounds like a trap if I ever heard one. Don't do all
Well,
that.
speaking of young people, Don, I
Uh-huh.
mean, you're going to school, right? And you're wanting, obviously looking like you're getting into this industry, or
Mhm.
John's just got you. I don't know how he roped you into this, but
Another trap. Uh-huh.
another trap. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the point, though. I'm having a difficult time with what they call imposter syndrome, right? I'm moving from a
Mhm.
technician role into a leadership role of owning a shop, and that's been going on for a decade now, right? And I'm at the
Mhm.
point now where when I was a technician, it's not the same as it is now, right? There wasn't a shortage then, now there is, right? The way I was brought up in a shop and I was taught, it was like you get your shit together, you get out, right? Like it's my way or the highway, like that's how it was, and
Sure.
that's just not how it is
Exactly how it
anymore.
was when we were growing up. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't. And so a lot of what I'm looking for training is like, how do I lead these people now, right?
Yeah.
without getting taken advantage of, right? I give a lot, and I try to do positive reinforcement, and then all of a sudden I'm getting taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
So from your perspective, how do you see shops beginning to evolve?
Great question. First, I do want to ask: am I allowed to cuss on here? Is this a family friendly
Well, he just
That's
said
family
system?
shit.
friendly,
What do you think?
Did I?
Well,
I don't know.
hey, just because he did it doesn't mean I should. I'm just making sure.
It's just a
That's
typical conversation,
okay. Perfect.
I
I just
think
didn't
kids
know
hear
it.
it now. I think there's TikTok enough now, so
Oh, okay.
I think see what I'm saying? We're in a new generation. That would not have been okay in John's time, right? You
You're
don't
right.
use profanity. But in this day
Yeah,
and age, is like high schoolers got like whatever the skibbity bop, whatever
Six,
they've come up with a
7.
whole new
Oh yeah.
style of profanity. They're like, "Did you just say
exactly.
shit? That is so boomer of you," right? You're like, "What?"
Yeah. Okay, boomer. Oh yeah. Uh, so when it comes to young people, a lot of my roles, because I was in home inspections before this industry, which is there's a
Interesting.
lot of similarities because it's very male driven, and it also can have that my way or the highway sense. Young people nowadays, they're just not going to put up with it. They're not. They're not going to. Where it used to be a career, something you did to support your family. There's this, in my opinion, there is this very negative view on jobs now, but that's because people have been getting taken advantage of for so long. Specifically, I see a big shift. A lot of people say, well, back in my day, I learned by watching and it was their way or the highway. But when you had kids, you taught your kids, don't let people take advantage of you. And so now these kids are growing up and they know to not be taken advantage of. And so when they go to the shop, and if you're an asshole, they're not going to put up with it. And it's kind of as simple as that.
I mean, there's the other side of the coin, right? And this is like this is the hot topic, right? Because there's the technicians that know their shit, right? And you treat
Sure.
them good, right? And then there's the technicians that think they know their shit,
Mm-hmm.
and so you get a lot of entitlement. I guess is what I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
To make a long story short, right? And so it's really hard. It's very 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 hard in this day and age to find a technician, one that'll show up every day, right? Just a good employee. I just want to find a good employee to start with, and now you have to make sure they're also a good technician.
Yeah.
And then they see the prices that an A level in quotes top technician can make, and they want that, right? And they say, if you don't give me that, I'm walking. And it's like, oh
Sure.
my god, well this guy actually he's a warm body that shows up every day. I can depend on him, but he can't do a timing chain, he can't do transmission removal, he can't, right? So you're not an A tech, but you want that pay, and then these shop owners are being held ransom, right, in this fact, and now shop labor rates have to go up to make up that difference. So otherwise, you're going to go out of business. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just a really difficult situation, and it's not. I don't think it's black or white. There's just so much gray in that
Sure.
area, and so what really is needed, in my opinion, in this industry is like how to deal with that situation. That
Yeah.
is the situation that we're all faced. How do you pay an underperforming but overvalued employee, right?
Sure.
And make it make sense for everybody, because there's we don't have a hat to pull out of anymore. There's not like a stack of resumes like there was in the 80s and 90s of everyone wanting to get into the industry. And I'm happy to see you, hanging out with John, and because this is what we need. We need more of that, right? Not so the aspect of like, okay, so now as shop owners we can start lowering our rates, but it's like, because competition grows competence, right? Like that's what we need.
Mm-hmm.
We need people to like feel like I need to be better than him, and so I can get paid more than him. And that competition is right. It's like capitalism, right? Without competition,
Sure.
we all suffer, in my
Sure.
opinion, anyway.
And my question to you, I heard you say something earlier, and I wanted to make sure that I'm on the same page as you. You said with going to these trainings that you need to not take you as much, but take your team. So
Yeah,
that's something you could also utilize. Have you been taking your team to these trainings?
I did. So speaking, we went through a few of the ones going on in the country, right, John? The one that I'm looking forward to this year is Shop Hackers in Tennessee. For one, I've never been to Tennessee, so that sounds fun. But also, I mean, after what happened there, right, with name
Aaron.
Aaron, yeah. I think it'd be nice to go there and show support for their operation, for one, and for two, I've never been there, so I'd like to see that. I spent a lot of time with Auto Shop Answers with Todd Hayes and Todd Westerland out in Houston. And I took my
You were in
my service.
Houston? You didn't tell me?
I did. I called you.
Oh my gosh. I
Didn't I
must have
tell?
been going
Mm,
somewhere.
mm,
No,
mm.
you were a ways away, aren't you? You're way down in
I'm north of Houston in Dallas Fort Worth. I'm 4 hours
you're Fort
away.
Worth, huh? Oh yeah, that's a little bit of a drive.
I'd have made that for you in a heartbeat if I was in town. I'm going down there Monday to eat lunch with
You
Brett.
never know. I was trying to hook up with Josh when I was there too, because I know Josh is in Houston too. But
Yeah, he's
anyway,
north of there. Just a
yeah,
little ways, not far.
yeah. So I
I
enjoyed it
mean,
the
I'm in
first
like
time.
10 miles. Not far
Yeah,
at all.
I'll probably be going there again. I want to go to Courtside up in the Woodlands. That sounds like a pretty good event. I want to check that out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I took my service manager the second time there, and that was good. It was good for him. I have the issue going back to what our conversation was is like you add a lot of benefits to the technicians and to the staff, and it just doesn't feel appreciated, right? We took everyone to Apex SEMA last year, and it just
Mhm.
turned into going and watching the burnout competitions and watching the donuts and watching all this. Like, okay, guys, I brought you here to train, right?
Mhm.
And how much do you like crack that whip before you're like, well, I also want you to have a good time, but also you're
I
being
have an
paid for this
answer
whole
for
week.
that.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I shut down for a whole week, took the whole team out there. And the only thing is Tuesday, you had to be in training all day Tuesday.
Oh, you pick one day.
Yeah. Tuesday, you had to be signed up for morning and afternoon classes. Wednesday, you could start at Apex. Then after that, you could end at SEMA. And you could do Wednesday afternoon at SEMA and then Thursday all day at SEMA. And then Thursday, yeah, Friday morning, we all loaded up and came. We drove out there, by the way. We all wanted to drive, and we took our time going up and stopped in Amarillo and ate one of them big steaks. But that's the expectation that I set. Like, we'll start talking about Apex and SEMA at the end of July, and we'll start getting registered for all the classes and put it all together then. But Tuesday is the training day. Everybody has to do training on Tuesday. If you're not going to do training, I'm not taking you. And you're going to miss work, and I'm not paying you for that week. But I have 3% budget that I put in a training fund that pays for all this training we do for all year long. The Apex SEMA show is the largest one. It usually costs me right about $9,000 to take my 6 people there. You know,
Yeah, that's about
feed
right.
them and payroll and all that stuff. And it's worth every penny of it because when they come back, they are fired up about Apex and SEMA, what they seen, what they learned, and they're sharing the classes that they all took.
And here's the other thing: if you're concerned about taking somebody and them not going to classes, those concerns aren't usually a new concern. That's something that you've already seen in the shop where they're cutting corners or not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And sometimes you need to let that person go. Like, as much as you need the labor and you need them there turning wrench, the
Well, you
sickness can seep into your business, right? If
you have
someone is
to have
bad there,
management. You have to
sure,
manage that and measure it, okay?
sure.
And to make sure that person fits in the culture that you're trying to create in your shop, set expectations when you hire them of what you're going to be judging them on or managing them on. I hate that word judging, but managing them on so they know what to expect. You know, um, a time frame that needs to come up. How many hours are you going to produce that week or whatever? But managing that expectation will help you get what you need out of them. And if you can't deliver that, then you can write them up and justify your next moves. Do you need training? What do you need? How? And the magic words we always say, how can I help you? What can I do to improve you to help you? What is going on?
Yeah, it's the cadence. I think it's just the unrelenting cadence, right? And then not
Yeah.
being so distracted by the new shiny thing all the time, or oh, I tried this and it didn't work. Okay, so now I'll try this, right? And you just keep throwing different things to try to entice or incentivize someone, into doing what you need them to do instead of just settling on this one objective and this one way I'm gonna, having this one cadence, right? Like I've recently been looking at it like a drop of water, right? It doesn't do anything to anything. One drop of water, like it's worthless. But if that drop of water kept going for 1,000 years, right, you get a Grand Canyon, right? You get a hole in a rock.
Mhm.
And it's like it's just that constant drip over and over and over and over, and it doesn't need to be this big explosion or this yelling fit, right? And I think like Dawn, maybe that's something you've heard in the auto industry, right? Like these aggressive mechanics smoking a cigarette, yelling at their techs, right? Because you just blow up one day, right? You just one day you're
Yeah.
like you've had enough, and you just scream at them, and like, and then the next day you're like, all right, now I fixed it, I let it all out, and now these guys are gonna be fixed,
Ah,
and then they're not, right? And then it's
no.
like they're not.
If you blew up, you made it worse.
You made it
Yeah.
worse.
When you go
And
blow up, go outside, go somewhere by yourself and blow
you
up.
feel better though. You
Yeah,
personally,
you can feel
emotionally,
better by blowing
psychologically, you feel
up.
better.
Go out there and
But it
talk
doesn't
to
do
the
anything.
dog. You'll get more results. He
But
don't give a
why-
shit either.
Were conversations had before the blow up? Was was management informed? Did management take the right steps to train that person
No, it's
to
all in our
stop
head.
doing?
It's
And
all,
exactly.
You
That's
got
what
your
it
head
is.
buried in a car, and you're thinking about 10 other
You're like-
things, and then the car's fighting you, and then you're like, and he was late today, and now he's 10 minutes after lunch, and it's like all these bricks, right? All these stressors just keep piling up, and then all of a sudden someone backs into a car in the parking lot, and you just completely lose your shit, right?
Yeah.
And then you look and you're like, what's my protocol for moving cars? And then the new thing, right, is like writing an SOP. So now you see that one problem, and you go write an SOP for moving cars in the parking lot, and then you print it out, you stamp it, you whatever, you put it in the Google Drive, you give it to everybody, and you're like, okay, now I fixed the problem, and you're happy, and you pat yourself on the back.
No,
And you're
because
like,
that's going to change tomorrow.
that doesn't change nothing, right? And it's like write an SOP, write a procedure, and so now you got this binder full of procedures that no one's read but you, right?
Yeah.
Or you gave it to them and they read it in passing, and they're like, I'm not reading this crap. Like, I don't care. This is what new procedure now, right? And it just doesn't work. And
Are
so
you doing weekly
The
meetings,
SOP
right? If you're handing them something, yeah, if they're already messing stuff up and not paying attention, they're probably not going to read whatever the hell you're giving them. Like, we used to do weekly meetings in the inspection industry. Every week, everybody get together. We talk about what's going on, what's new, what's up in the real estate industry, what systems have changed here. And then the other thing is kind of like with, not saying techs are children or service advisors are children, but with children,
We're all children.
hey, I didn't say it.
We're all big
But making sure that consequences are actually happening within the shop. When something goes wrong, the correct consequences are to follow. If somebody messed something up, what is the consequence?
And that's what I want to unpack right there, because that is where I think a lot get mixed up too. Like, what's a consequence, right?
Mm-hmm.
What actually deems to be something that's a consequence that someone's going to be like, okay, I don't want that to happen again, right? And as the owner, how do you manage the expectations? Oh, he did screw up, but look at all the good he's done, right? And so you get mixed up in your head a little bit. It's like, oh man, I don't want to be the boss that I had that yelled at me, that was like always mean to me. So then it's really difficult to like lay that consequence out, right? And I think for me, I get tripped up on that as well as like, what is a consequence? Do I write them up? Okay, what the hell's a write up? Like, no one gives a shit about
so
that,
a
right?
write
Like,
up
nobody
is
cares
for
to get
the
a write up.
owner.
What's that?
It's for the
But do
owner.
they?
It's for you. Okay. The SOPs are for you. They're not for the employees. The
That's a good way to put it.
SOPs are,
Yeah.
I told you so. I gave it to you. This is it. The write up is for you, for your memory. Okay. So if you told this employee today, I don't want you to doing it like that. This is the way we do it at my establishment. You write them up. This is, he wasn't performing the work the way I asked him to do. This is da da da. It's your memory. How many write-ups does he have in that folder for the same problem? Okay.
And
me and you can't remember all that crap with 8 and 10 employees. Who did what or what did who? It's all for us as the owner of the business to keep it in our mind. They're talking about managing and measuring. The write-ups are a measuring stick for that employee. Your SOP is our measuring stick for those employees.
And consequences and write-ups don't always have to be negative. And what I mean by that is when you write somebody up or they get a consequence and you have that, a year down the road when they are a better employee, you're able to review with them, hey, you were really struggling here and you have grown past that point.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you can
I have
think
one
of
I
it
do
as,
that with.
as a growth as well, a way to track where they were and where they are now. And so you can see as well, like, hey, I'm a badass manager. I helped them grow, and they can see, hey, I was not doing too great, and now I'm a lot better. So as yucky as it feels to like be like, you're doing a shit job, which you don't say that, but like you're messing up real bad, it's necessary to have so you can look back on it and either be like, they're still messing up, it's time for them to, as the kids would say, deuces, or they've grown and they're better because of it.
Yeah,
And
and that's
open
a
end
good way to put it.
questions.
Yeah,
You know, the best thing I've read and here lately is the new 1 minute manager to deal with the
that's a
younger
good book.
people and the way they
Yeah,
think. Oh my gosh, I did that about 4 months ago, and it's just opened my eyes up to so many of my old evil ways that I've got. You know, and I've made my manager read it and my oldest son Cutter read it, and they just finished it, and my older son says, "Dad, you know that's the way I manage people." I said, "You didn't read the book?" He said, "No." I when I read the book, I realized that's the way I do things already. And my manager at the shop, he comes up to me, he said, "Oh, I'm so glad you turned me on to that book. I get so much out of that book and how I can lead these people." It's what an opportunity to understand the younger generation.
yeah, that one and day one leadership,
Yeah, day
right?
one leadership.
Because it's like what we're talking about right now. Someone could be listening and thinking, well, man, I've already set the expectations when I hired him. And that was a big one for me where I could say, okay, I don't need to keep doing the same thing that I've always done. Like I can
Amen.
show up tomorrow and I can completely change the way, I mean, pretty much everything but their pay, right?
Right.
I can't
Everything.
change their pay right away, but I can set a different expectation, different cadence, a different culture tomorrow. Like I can, right? And you don't
Hmm.
want to do it too much. Like you don't want to keep doing it every single day, but
Right.
sometimes you realize I've been doing it wrong. I haven't set expectations. I haven't told them what expected of them, and vice versa. So tomorrow I can show up and I can do that. And I mean, you get stuck there, right? You get stuck because you don't want to be back talking yourself, right? You hire
That's
someone, you say,
right.
"This is what I need, and this is what we're going to do, and this is how we always done it," right? So we didn't do tires for the first 5 or 6 years, right? Everyone I hired, I said, "We'll never do tires. I don't have any business in doing tires." Euro, right? I don't want anything to do with Euro. Well, now we're doing tires, and we're doing Euro, right? I got a new manager, and this is what's making money. And it was really hard to wrap my own mind around, like, okay, well now I'm changing what I told everyone that we weren't going to do. I got to do it, but it's like that's what you have to do, right? To survive, you got to keep
That's
changing. You got
right.
to keep progressing, and if you don't, you're going to get stuck behind. And
Mhm.
yeah, both those books is like those are, and Dale Carnegie too. You can't forget about Dale Carnegie. He's got good books too, but
Mhm.
a lot
Big
of good
time.
stuff.
Another thing that no one's come out and quite said it yet, but I feel like sometimes with the older generation, and I could be wrong, this is just me, but they sometimes have a issue or a hard time telling somebody when they do a good job. Like taking time out
Oh,
of
that's me,
their
100%.
practice to be like, hey, you're kicking at X ass at X, Y, and Z. Like, so you said that's you. Is that something that you still struggle with? Is that
Oh
something you're
yeah,
trying to implement?
yeah.
Yeah. John,
Just
how
all
about
yes.
you?
Yeah, it's just
I constantly struggle with that stuff, but I'm a real strong person to believe in developing leaders underneath you gives them strength and gives them the moral compass they need to become a better person.
Mhm.
If I can't get them to be a better person, to improve, if I can't get them to get training, education, I can't help them.
Yeah.
Okay? They're stuck and they want to keep on doing what they want to do. I have to move on.
Yeah.
You know, I've had two employees that are great people, super people, but they were stuck in the ways they wanted to be. They didn't want to change that.
Hmm.
So I had to move on. My company had to move on.
Hmm. Uh, when it comes to
Did I
telling,
answer your question?
no, but that's okay. I liked what you said. It was pretty.
she says no.
No.
But
No.
that's okay.
How?
I can tell him that, right? Are your feelings hurt? No.
I don't think
Uh
that could have possible.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. It could. It could. Uh so John, you do a really I've seen you before, and you've used it on me, is lifting up and complimenting your employees when you see that they're doing something good, right?
Constantly, yes.
Yeah. So like even stuff that I do that's super in my mind minor or not that spectacular, you'll take the time and be like, "Hey, you're really tech savvy. That's awesome. I wish I was like that." Whatever, right? And
Right.
as little as that is, I feel good about it. And one way that you can get the younger generation to buy into you and your shop and to be better is taking the time and the opportunity to praise the good things that they're doing. Because then they feel like they have stakes in the company. They
It's
feel
the
like they are making a difference.
it's the old 4 quarters in one pocket or 10 quarters, depending on what kind of person you are, and trying to pass them to the other pocket. And the only way you can pass them is by complimenting somebody or saying a positive thing to somebody, and then you're allowed to move it from one pocket to the other.
That sounds like a Rick Whiteism.
It it's something that he taught me, yeah, and we call that Rickism, is what we call
A
that.
Rickism, not a
Yeah,
Whiteism.
yeah.
I probably shouldn't say that.
Probably not.
Now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah.
that's probably not the best thing to say, is it?
Yeah, it's funny though. I call him Tricky Ricky. I think that's gonna stick.
That's
There
been
you
pretty
go.
good too. Man, it's that's hard to my love language is acts of service, right? So I buy him
Mhm.
treats and snacks and
Sure.
take him out to dinner, and we go out and try to do a monthly bonding, a quarterly barbecue. So that's like my way of trying to give back. It's hard for me to like verbalize it, right? Also, from like a tech to owner transition, the technician mindset's always there. So I'm all my job is to find a problem, right?
Mhm.
Like that's what my job is. I just is like my mind is wired for the last 20 years to like find the problem. So when I'm
Sure.
walking around the shop and I'm watching what people are doing, I'm not looking for what they're doing right. I'm trying to find the low hanging fruit of stuff that they're doing wrong. And it sounds really bad when you say it that way, but it's just how the brain is wired, right? And so it's hard to adapt that. Like, okay, if am I going to lose that, right? That's gotten me to this point to be this successful, to start looking at the positive. Does that make sense?
It does.
It does.
And
I relate to it.
you don't have to lose that. You can just shift what you're looking at. So you're going through and you're trying to figure out what people are doing wrong. Just shift it and be like, what am I doing wrong? I'm not giving enough verbal acknowledgement. So there's your problem. You found it, right?
Right.
As a tech. It's weird. It's like a thing that you got to do with practice. Because don't get me wrong, like just going to
No, it
someone
makes
and being
sense.
like,
I like the way you laid that out too. I mean, because
yeah,
that's the cleanest way of looking at it, right? And it's
yeah,
trying to trick your own brain into a different thinking pattern, right? And it's like
mhm,
it's always easier said than done, right? But
yeah,
that's the thing. Like, what's the and taking the ownership, right? Like anything that goes wrong in the shop, it's ultimately my fault. So it's always like, okay, I see this going on. I see rags on the floor. I see a drip of oil. Okay, so let me take it back a few steps. Okay, have I trained this employee? Have I had a product? Do they know where to put the rags? Do they know that they're supposed to clean it up? Do they know where the mop bucket is? Like all that stuff, right? Is like, and that's where my mind goes, right? So now that's occupied when I should just be walking up and saying, "Hey, man, you're doing a great job installing this transmission. I see that you're 2 hours under time." I'm looking at like, okay, well, there's a trip hazard here and there's a spill hazard here, and I'm like, right? So it is hard. It's hard to like repeating that pattern, but it's just taking that day one initiative of like, okay, today I'm gonna find one person to say something nice to him, but then everything goes wrong, right?
sure, sure.
Today was supposed to be the day I was nice, damn it.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can still tell them, hey, you're messing this up, but you can also like it doesn't have to be, oh, I'm nice today, I'm Jekyll today, I'm Hyde
Yes.
today. You can mix it in. You can show, for lack of better words, tough love. I'm assuming y'all know the sandwich method, right? Jim, have you heard of that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you can
I
utilize
haven't.
that.
What's a
The bad,
sandwich
nice,
method?
good, nice, bad.
Yeah. It's simplified, right? If you want to tell somebody they're messing up, you want to layer it between some good shit. So, hey, I really like how you're fixing
Layer
the
it
car
up.
this way. You messed this up, but this was awesome. Super simple. And unless these people are going to leadership training, they're not going to catch on and being like, hey, this person's doing the freaking sandwich method on me. They're not going to catch that. But if they do, maybe it's time to put them in a different role since they kind of know management.
A
But
little bit, yeah. And you get better at it as you implement different things, right? But it's like this whole concept of managing those situations, right? Is like that's what's kind of missing, and that's why I see a lot of the coaching, a lot of the leadership training coming out, because they're more in tune to it, right? And it's not the older generation of like, hey, you get a paycheck, so you show up and do what the hell I tell you to do. It's like they want a sense of purpose, right? They're like, I need the paycheck, like we need the money, like 100%. Like that's why we're all here, right? We want to be on a winning team, and to
Right.
make money, you got to be on a winning team. But there's also beyond that. There's 10 other shops that'll hire me tomorrow, right, for the same money you're paying me. So it's not about the money in that aspect, right? Because it's like they can get that same amount anywhere they go. It's like
It's the
I
golden
want a sense of
handcuffs.
purpose. Yeah. Yeah,
And
golden handcuffs, exactly.
It's what you offer them. The money's second. Everybody pays the same amount of money. Somebody pay a little bit more. But what do you bring to the table? And it don't always have to be retirement and insurance. I got 3 people that work for me don't want no insurance. Their spouse has insurance, and they got a better policy than my Blue Cross Blue Shield is, and it's a PPO policy, you know. But they don't need it. They don't want it because their spouse. One of the guys work for me is retired military. He's got pretty doggone good insurance, you know. But what I'm saying is it's not always that, you know. One of the things that Jacob wants that works for me, he has 2 beautiful kids. He wants time to take off to go be with his kids. He wants to know that if one of them gets sick, he can take off and go to the hospital. That's his primary deal, what he wants, you know.
Yeah.
Krista, she's the first one there and the last one to leave. But every now and again, she wants to go to a rock concert that's during the week. She wants to miss the following day after the concert. I've got to be acceptable to that. You know,
Mhm.
it's things like that. But we work together so well that we manage our time and we're putting it on calendars and it's weeks in advance and we all know what's going on. And since we run by mostly appointments, it's real easy just to block them off that day or that afternoon, you know.
And that could be a difference between fleet and general public work too, though. But I don't know. I'm not the auto expert. But what it sounds like is humanizing your employees, realizing they're
Mm-hmm.
human, they have a life outside of what
They're
you've
not a
got
number.
going on, and
Yeah.
helping them support that. I'll tell you, like I told some shop owners at Super Saturday, is your employees aren't employees anymore, right? When you're hiring someone, they're not employees. You have to treat them like customers. You have to treat them like customers. You have to figure out, like John does, figure out what they do outside of work, giving them extra time or whatever it may be. You can't just treat them like employees anymore if you want someone who stays and does what they need to do.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to. I mean, but that's the position that no one forced us to open a shop, right? It was definitely something that we willingly went into, whether it's ignorance or just whatever possessed you to think that it was going to be easier than this, right? No one said it was
Yeah.
going to be easy, but why is it got to be this hard, right? The whole song. But I mean, and I enjoy that, right? I enjoy getting to know them, but there's that fine line that some people cross where that relationship between employer
Mhm.
employee gets kind of crossed, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like no. You don't get to like, and that makes it really difficult to have that, for lack of better terms, intimate, right, relationship, right? Like you want to know their kids, you want to help them, you want to know like, hey, Johnny's got a soccer game, I want you to go like watch that, right? Like, yeah, if your kid's hurt, go to the freaking hospital. What are you doing here for, right? But then there's the call in on Monday, right? Like out of the blue, and you're like, okay, wait a second here, like that's not super cool, man. Like we
Yeah.
expected you to be here. I've given you the time before. I've honored the things that you asked for, and now you're treating it as like a job, right? So, and then you got to be the bigger man and be like, it is what it is. And then that's when you come into the point. Okay, so now do I write them up for that? Right now you have
Yes.
like this relationship, and you're trying to write, and you're just like, but you see it like the blurred lines where it's like very difficult to hold that standard, and it
Mhm.
just
Even if you don't have them sign that write up, you write it up and you put it in the file.
oh,
That
for
is
you,
for
yeah, that
you.
makes sense, yeah.
Okay? That's your measurement part of managing them. And when they start taking advantage of you like that or start taking advantage of the business and the situation, it's time to move on from that person.
You
You
know, I
know,
like that
but
too because that's
you
more
can't
of a
do it if
brain
you're
dump.
yeah,
Mhm.
you can't do it unless you're managing it. You
Yeah,
know, because you're going to look at it and all these people are missing all the time. They're never at work, and you're just going by memory that's clouded.
yeah, that's exactly right.
But
Yeah,
if you
And
got it
how
in
many
their
times you
file
blow things up in your mind that are not actually
all the
as bad as they
time,
are.
yeah,
yeah.
Don pisses me off daily.
Hmm.
Did I say that
It's I gotta hit a quota. I got
by
to hit a
telling me
quota.
no?
You write it
Hmm.
down though. You write it
Oh
down, and then
yeah.
you're like, oh, I
Oh
guess
yeah.
that
I've
wasn't
got
that
my
big of a
chart.
deal.
Oh, we're
Well,
trending
I got
upward,
my
and
notes.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. But
He's got a
I
whole
hear
stack
what.
of them already, huh?
Yeah, I
Oh
just
yeah.
could
That's
start
just
with that one.
today. Just today. I hear what you're saying though. Yeah, it's painful when you put a lot of money and time and resources, and you have to kind of depend on your employees, and then they fall short. It can be painful. It can hit you in your ego whenever
If
you
you're
put all
managing
No,
yourself.
employees,
absolutely.
Don,
Yeah.
if you're managing employees, okay, and you're measuring the employees, and the employee lets you down once in a while,
Well, that's
okay,
different.
and
Yeah.
I'm saying once a month, okay, and you're measuring that, it won't take you down as the owner of the business. But if that employee is constantly letting you down and you're putting that note in the file and you reflect back on that note and you see it's the same thing all the time, now you know what kind of training that employee needs. Maybe you find out, what does that employee need? Does he need different hours on the floor? Does he need to come in later and work later? Does he need to come in earlier and work and get off earlier? You can manage it and save that employee and not send them packing. Okay? The worst thing an owner can do, as a business manager can do, either one, is send an employee packing, especially after 6 months of employment. The first 6 months of employment, you've got such a huge investment into that employee. To just wash it up and send them down the road, that is a huge expense.
Yeah.
But if you can send them to more training and grow them into the leadership that you need them to be, you're going to have a hell of an employee that'll stick with you through thick and thin. And when he makes a mistake, you're managing it and you can help him.
I'm
Sure.
gonna I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit here. I hear what
I
you're
love
saying,
it.
and I like it. But I think you also have to take into consideration how damaging they are, right? If you have somebody who's calling out all the time, right? Not only is it affecting you and your business and your wallet, which are all very important, but then it's starting to rot the emotions of your other employees because now they're having to pick up slack and they're having to come in later or deal with the stuff that employee was supposed to. So I think it's that fine balance of figuring out, is it worth keeping them
What's
at the
worse than
expense of myself and my other employees?
what's worse than firing a bad employee? Keeping a
Keeping
bad
them.
employee. That's
Yeah.
Rickism.
But it,
It
it's such a
it's a
fine line.
it is, and it's a conversation you got to have with everybody on the team. I think is
Yes.
Oh yeah.
kind of where I've come to, right? And sometimes what you think is going on is not what's actually going on, right? And you might get rid of somebody, and they're like, "Oh man, we were really pulling for him, right? Like we really
Yeah.
want, like, what, you guys didn't say nothing, right?" And you have the other one that's got the different attitude, and it's like, "Man, I'm so glad that guy's gone." It's like, why didn't you say something, right? Because no one will tell
Yeah.
you anything, right? Even no
Well, I
matter how many
have
times
my
you ask.
team where they will feed me.
Right, and
My
over
whole
time,
team will
you
talk.
start, yeah, you'll start over time. You
Hmm.
start picking up, and the more one-on-one meetings you're having, and the more cadence of the monthly meetings that we're talking about,
Yep.
that helps open everybody up, and that way you're not blindsided by those things where you're like, I can't believe you got rid of
Exactly.
that guy, man. We put a lot, or how, what took you so long to get rid of him? He was such a pain in the ass, and you just never know, right? Because
Yeah.
you're watching from 30,000 feet, and you're thinking like, and I'm on your team there, John. I'm like, yeah, if I hire somebody, make it through my interview process, and they're on board after 90 days, like, we're in it, like, let's figure out how to make this work, right? Unless you
Right.
show up drunk or hungover or like just completely miss a day, like
You pull in the
a
bay with a
fire
beer can
yeah,
turned up.
a fireable offense, right? If you're just not producing, like, I'm going to try to help you, like, what do I need to do? Like you said,
Yeah.
how do I help you get to the next goal, right? And if you're not willing to do that, that's just as bad as not following, it's like showing up drunk, right? Like if you're
Amen.
not willing to help when I'm willing to give you help, like, if you don't want to take that help, I don't know what else I can do for you, like.
Mhm.
Exactly. You just have no opportunity if they won't help themselves.
Yeah.
They done tied your hands. You can't do anything. You're done. You're not going to be able to measure in a positive direction. You're just steadily going to be going in a down, and it's. I had one employee on for a year longer than what I wanted to, thinking and hoping and praying, and it didn't happen. So even the best intentions can go the worst way.
I think the majority is like what Don was saying. It's the majority is you gotta fire fast, right? Like, hire slow, fire fast. I mean, that is like the generic term, right? But it doesn't
Yeah,
work every time. And sometimes you find someone that just needs a little bit of support and they turn into be a rock star, right?
Yep.
And sometimes
exactly.
you wait too long to hire someone and they find a job somewhere else. So
Yep.
hire fast, fire fast, right? My pattern
Now
is
you
hire
sound like
fast
Mike
and fire
Allen.
slow. That's been my my past, my
Yeah,
history.
Mike Allen's
And
a hire fast and fire fast.
mhm, mhm. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, I think I wanted to get y'all's opinion on this because a lot of my job positions, I've been what I like to call the translator between the owner and the employees. Because I've been able to communicate with owners. I understand what their goals are, what they need, but I also understand the employees and kind of what they're looking for within a business. Uh, do y'all believe that your employees have the confidence to come to you and tell you when something's wrong or if they think changes need to be made?
Yes, my employees have a voice. They don't have a vote, but I do listen to what they tell me.
Okay. Jim?
That's a great question. I mean, I think that's you just don't know. I mean, for me, I don't have the confidence to say that I would know, and it depends on what it is, right? Anything auto like tech related, no problem, right? No problem throwing their hands up, waving the white flag. Hey boss, I don't know what's going on here. Can you help me diagnose this? Can you help me fix this? I can't figure this out. I don't know what fluid it is. I don't know what filter it is. I don't know. I don't know. Right? So when something's going wrong in the technician aspect, there's absolutely no problem. Bring it to me. The other side of it is I don't think the expectations or the standards have been set as far as like what the vision is and what is wrong in the aspect of running the business, right? And that's
Mhm.
on me, right? So what's expected of you? Where you're here for 8 hours, so the expectation is 7 hours of build time. Like, is that fair? That's an hour of like not doing anything, right? And I know it's not. Like I get it, but also like you're here paid for 8 hours, so I want 7 hours on the book, right? Like that's
Why
an
would you not want
expectation
eight
set for the
hours?
business. I'm just being fair, John. I'm
That's
trying
not
something new.
fair. That's
I'm not.
cheating the company.
I'm trying something new here, right? And this is a new
That
as
is
far as like
way. That must be some California shit.
that's what it is. You know, I have to give them their mandatory breaks and their
Yeah.
whatever.
Here's a participation trophy.
So I think most people want to excel, right? Like
Right.
nobody wants to show up and just do a piss poor job. And if they do,
Amen.
it's easy to weed them out. So I think
Mhm.
setting the expectation at 7 is like that fair. Like if you go under 7, we're gonna have a
Is
conversation,
that a
right?
C-Tech?
A C tech? No, I mean it's a B, solid B.
No
Just
way.
yeah,
A solid B-Tech should be producing 8 hours a day
yeah,
with flag time. We're talking flag time, right?
yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
And an
you're
A-Tech
right. I mean
minimum.
I wouldn't argue with you. I mean it's that
Uh
is what
huh.
it is. And it's just trying to set some sort of cadence and some sort of vision, right? And at that
Right.
and the last thing I want is an excuse, right? I want results, not excuses. And so
I
if
love
we can
that.
agree, so I guess my point is the question to you both of you is me expecting 7 hours in an 8 hour day, is that a fair expectation
No.
for the
What I
employee?
No.
so Bob says no. I'm not well versed enough to understand what's good, what's bad with automotive, but what I would suggest is, were you doing 8 before, or have you always done 7?
No, there was really not an expectation met, right? Like everyone just wants to pump out as much work as we possibly can, right? And
Okay.
so when the days go bad and the days go good, it's like it's all kind of blends and be the same. I get what my point was getting to is setting just some sort of standard so that when they don't make the 7 hours, okay, so what do I need to do to help you get there? Because I'm being more than fair in the expectation of you being able to bill 7 hours a day, right? And so
Sure.
that's kind of where I said it. We'll eventually start cadencing it up and working on the systems, but it's more trying to get the flower to open up, right? Like the
Sure.
question you asked. If I asked my team what the problem was, would they tell me? I don't know because I don't know if they know. So it's just kind of lowering the expectations a little bit to get them involved with a fair offer and saying, okay, so why can't you like 7 hours more? You're here for 8, right? And I'm only expecting
Yeah.
7. You didn't even do 7. So what do we do? How do I
Yeah.
help you do that? Right? Like that should be no problem. 10 hours should be no problem, right? With the work we're doing. So that's just kind of how I've been lately trying to set that standard and try to get that buy-in and get that feedback because a lot of it's more tech side and a lot of tech turn owners can probably relate to that. They're the go-to man, right? They're the bottleneck. They're the one that sits there and they get a question about this and a question about that. Hey, what filter is this? Hey, boss, real quick, since you're there, what fluid does this thing use? Like, use your resources. There's computers on every corner.
Daddy syndrome.
Daddy syndrome, exactly. And it's hard to, as the tech, not help because you know it off the top of your head. Like, I can tell you right now in 8 seconds exactly what you need to do, but I have to take 15 seconds and say, did you use your resources, right? And I have to go through the whole
Amen.
rhythm,
If you
and
don't
you have
teach
to do
them,
that. Yeah.
if you don't teach them where the resource is, if you don't teach them how to find the answer versus give them the answer, you're going to be in that daddy syndrome the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's not
But
fair
you
for anyone.
have to take that 15 seconds up front today.
Yeah.
So it's not 15 seconds tomorrow. They're on their own. That's releasing you as the owner to do owner stuff.
What I used to work at a multi-trillion-dollar retirement company, and what we used to do as support with management, if an employee came to us and said, "Hey, I can't find whatever," we would ask them, instead of being like, "Okay, let's look for this together," we would say, "Show me where you went to look for that. Show me where you." So then, one, it shows, did they actually look? Can they show me where they looked? And if they didn't look, that's a whole nother conversation. But two, it also could be, oh, are our resources messed up in a way that it is difficult for our employees to do their job, to find what they're looking for?
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if that translates, but
because in our industry, we have so many resources, Mitchell, All Data, Identifix, Diagnosis Network. You have all these different, and if you're not used to the platform of what is there, you probably can't find it. But if we don't ask that question, where did you look? Would you show me? We as the leader might not know that they know how to find that in that platform.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
You
but
just get
as far
frustrated.
if you bring me a question about automobiles today, you better bring me some ideas on where we're going to find that information. Because I'm going to be asking those kind of questions way before I ever give you the answer.
And then my next thing would be, and I don't know, it might just be how your shop is set up, but why are they coming? They shouldn't be coming to top management for that question. They should be
Amen.
going either to a tech who's been there a little bit longer, or somebody who knows the system a little better first, then management, and then up.
It's the tactics I use to keep them from coming to me. All right. I want them to do their channels down here way before they ever get to me.
Yeah.
Because it's going to cost the company whatever.
I stopped the
Techs
daddy
get paid
syndrome in my company
$20.
years ago.
It's going to cost you $20 to pay the tech to look that up versus how much it costs you 15 minutes of your time to look it up.
Amen.
How much do you want to spend?
And this will come off kind of like, not to be pompous about it, but say we're doing $2 million a year, right? That was our for last year. So as the owner of the company, my time's worth about $700 an hour, right? Because you're leading a business that's going to gross $2 million. So break it down. You're here for 8 hours a day. It's $700 an hour. So looking at it that way, I mean, that definitely changes the perspective a little bit. And it's like, okay, maybe it's worth spending the 15 seconds to make sure the resources are there. They know how to figure it out so that the next time around, I'm not caught up in it.
Amen.
It's really difficult. And part of it is me not setting it up right. And so about 2 months ago, we set up layers of defense, right? Where if you're stuck in a problem, this technician is going to be your next go-to, right? So I have diagnostic technicians. I have my line techs. I got my general service. So there's
who's good at what?
Yeah. So there's a what do you call it?
Dispatch
A barking order or a whatever,
Chain
a
of
general
command,
and a lieutenant or whatever.
Yeah.
So they know who to go to ask the questions, right? Before it comes up to me. The problem is when I'm out walking the floor and I'm walking by a bay, it becomes very easy, right? And for me, seeing the frustration when I don't give them the answer because they can see, and like it's funny when you said, hopefully they're not in leadership and they don't hear that the positivity sandwich thing. And so I've done it so much now that they know when I start asking these questions that I'm just trying to lead them in the direction, and they just get frustrated. Oh, fine, I'll just go figure it out then. Yes,
there you go.
But I mean, but it hurts a little bit, right? Because you're like, I know I have, and it's like on the tip of your tongue, right? But you're like, I gotta bite my tongue. I gotta let them be frustrated, and I gotta let them grow. That's hard. That's like the
Yeah.
hardest thing out of anything, right? And it's such a small thing, but it's like I have to bite my tongue. I have to let them be upset with me. It's like kind of like you said with kids. It's like you have to
So
tell the kid
once you
no,
get
let him
past
throw
the
a
hard,
tantrum and figure it out. You
Mhm.
know?
once you get past the hard part and you start realizing, like I do, is I'm developing a better person. I'm giving them another gift in their life that they'll use forever by not answering their question, but show them where to get the answer at, or lead them to where, hey, the water is right there. All you got to do is go over there, you know.
Yeah.
And it changed my outlook on life when I realized I'm building leaders in my business. I'm
And
giving them the tools to be a better leader, a better person.
mhm. And what I would recommend, Jim, are you currently doing like daily meetings, weekly meetings, monthly meetings? What does that look like for
Yeah,
you?
three a week, once a
3 a week.
month, once a quarter,
What I
once a quarter.
Oh, okay. What I'd recommend is that employee that came to you with the question, you sent them off to find it. If they did find it, I'd recommend being like, hey, show me how you found that, right? However they found it, and be like, hey, that's awesome. I want you to share that at our next meeting so everybody knows how to look for that. Like, great job finding that. Getting employees to teach other people is the best way for them to feel like, oh, I'm doing a service and I did a good job looking for this. You just have to figure out a way to not sound like an asshole when you're like, oh, good job, But getting them to teach that to others may
No,
help that
absolutely, yeah,
stick too.
yeah.
So
The buy-in at the meetings. I mean, I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
every day before we shut the doors at Firm Automotive, all the customers are out. It's just employees. We all meet in the front office and we call it a debriefing. Okay. And we ask each employee a question. We have a series of 3 questions. What did you fail at? What could have you done better? And what was your win? We always close it on a positive note. All right. So when they leave for the day, they have the positive note implanted and they're headed home to do their own thing. And Firm Automotive is shut down. It's over with. They're headed their direction. So it that has helped my team come together so much stronger and closer by every day having that little meeting. And we don't spend no more than 20 minutes on that meeting. It sometimes 10 minutes is over with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess short. I guess it'll get shorter over time, right? As you
Yeah,
start ironing out the issue too, when it comes to some of these meetings that I've heard and I've talked um, a lot about is the overtime aspect, right? And like getting the employees to buy in on the process without paying for them, right? So, you know, setting, I guess we'll go back to expectation. So, having like holding your own standard really high, right? We all do. And so
right.
then you want to hold everyone else to that same standard and you can't. Everyone has different things, right? So you got to
Exactly.
just like be okay with that. So like I go home, I watch my videos, I do my training. I'm always like I'm doing a podcast like I'm always doing these things on my own to better myself, and you kind of have that expectation that's shared for the rest of the team, but they don't see it that way, right? And you say, okay, I want 10 hours of training every month. And say, well, I need to be paid for that. It's like, well, no, this is your career, man. I need you to like informally watch 10 hours of YouTube videos or TikToks or whatever, right? Just stay relevant in the industry. And no, I don't want you to like write everything down so that I have to pay. Like, it's just, I want you to do an informal training, and for that, we'll take you somewhere nice and we'll go do formal training and stuff like that. Now, I guess a couple questions. Does that sound unfair? And two, how would you handle a situation like that where you're trying to get the team to do training on their own? They're not into it and they want to be paid. And then same with the meetings, right? Hey, I want to hold a meeting 10 minutes after. Or hey, show up at 7:50 because we want to do a quick take 5 before we get the day started. Okay, do I clock in for that? Oh, right. It's just these little things that are like, well, no, I need you to do this to buy in for the team, and I'm gonna take care of you, but I can't pay the overtime for that. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
I hear you. Uh, Mine is probably not going to be a popular opinion. I, as an employee, I'm not gonna. I hear what you're saying, and not everybody understands that training outside of the workplace is important. People aren't going to get that. What I'll also say is, I personally am not going to work without being clocked in, right? In the same way that I wouldn't want a customer to come to you and them want to be heavily discounted, and then you're going to have to work for free or for less, right? It's worth the time, in my opinion, to pay them 10, 15 minutes of overtime, because in the end, you're making more money because of it. So don't look at it as you're paying them just to be there a little bit longer. You're paying for their growth, which in turn will make you more money in the end. But that's just where I come
It's
from.
understandable.
And you have a very good point. Is paying overtime the problem? No, it's not. There's another problem. We're not making enough money to pay overtime.
Correct.
So we're financing something that we're afraid we're spending way too much money on, something like that. The overtime is not the problem. The making the money to afford to pay the overtime is the problem.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want to go back just a little bit. I really appreciate what you said, Don. It lines up to a question I have. When you started going to college,
Mm-hmm.
you were you weren't unemployed. You were going to college on your own. You were footing your own bill. You're paying for school and yourself. All that. Nothing nobody else paid for but Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So as an employee comes to work for us, if they're a porter, they're just going to be a porter sweeping the floor, cleaning up after people, emptying the trash. There's no extra training needs to be done to that. They can be efficient at that job and be happy and never have to sit in a classroom. But if you're coming on as a technician, you're coming on with a career in the automotive industry. That being said, that you may not be a mechanic the rest of your life. You may move off into research and development. Nobody knows what tomorrow's going to hold or next year. Okay. So the training that a shop would offer to do video training at home on your time should be to advance your career. If it advances your job to where now you're not having to just produce 7 hours a day, but you can do 10 hours a day, you just moved up your pay scale and you're going to make more money as you advance yourself and advance your career. Regardless of the fact the shop's going to make more money, I'm agree with that 100% because you just brought more to the game. You brought it capability to make more money. You win, the shop wins, it's a winning situation. One of the questions I ask everybody on my team, what did you do to improve your career yesterday? Do you want to stay the same way you always are? No, nobody wants that. Improve
Yeah.
your career just like you did.
Absolutely. And I think that's kind of one of the polarizing aspects of like the new generation or like the new world we're in now, right? I mean I worked my ass off to like get to be knowledgeable enough to run a shop, right? To like fix
Right.
cars. And it was all on my dime, right? Don, you're going to college, it's all on your dime, right? Like you're
Mm-hmm.
educating yourself, right? And so to offer and to, what John said, for me to offer the training and then say, hey, I just like, can you just do this on your own time? I'll pay for the webinars, I'll pay for the training, but like I need you to do it on your own time because it's the best thing for the shop right now. And then to not have that buy-in, it's like I said,
It,
I get it. I've been an employee. Like I want my
Yeah.
time paid for, but also
Yeah.
like this is not a job. This is
right.
a career,
This
and
is a
I'm bettering
career.
you. You can take this information and go get a job anywhere else at any other shop now, and now you're better, right? You started as an ASC level, with one ASC, now you're a master tech, right? And I paid for that,
Right.
and I
What?
gladly will. I'll do that 1,000 times to make every
Sure.
tech master tech. But it's also like, well, then you're going to also ask to be clocked in while you're studying for the test, even though I'm paying for the test, I'm paying for the training, I'm paying for the books, and I'm paying for everything else. It's just a little, it starts
Sure.
crossing the line a little bit of like, okay, how much of this is like, I get it that it's going to make the shop better. That's why I'm paying for the certificates, but like, I
Sure.
need you to do it on your own time. And not just
But
because
it's
I'm trying to be an evil shop owner or I'm trying to save a dollar. It's because I need to see the buy-in. Are you
a
willing to
buy-in.
sacrifice
Is
your time to make yourself better? That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for like nickel and diming. I just want to know that you're going to off the clock go study to be better at this. And now I'm like, cool. Now we're going to win together because I got a rock star.
And
Sure.
now they're getting a better paycheck. They're getting more money because they're able to produce more work and they're much more intelligent and they're dedicated to the career and not dedicated to a job.
Yes.
Now
Get
that's
the
Yeah.
the
dedication corrected.
Now there's a difference between right? We've all been employees, there's a difference between doing work outside of the job because you love your job and doing work outside of the job because you have to and not getting paid for it, right? If
Right.
you, as a company, are buying into your employees and everything, they're going to be more likely to do that. And there is a difference between the company paying for the trainings and them attending versus you going, hey, go to YouTube 10 hours a week and do these videos and I'm not going to pay you for it. I think there's a difference, right? You're paying for trainings and stuff like that. So it's a rocky slope.
It really
Yeah,
is. A lot of different opinions.
and it depends on what you're paying for as well. I hear what you're saying. It is hard to get somebody to buy in without a dollar symbol being attached to it and getting them to understand that it's bettering them as well.
The dollar symbol today, not the future. They're not seeing down the road
Mhm.
Yeah,
like a career
that's
will
the
pay you.
vision. That's the vision that they need to have, right? And
Hmm.
whether it's YouTube and it's Scanner Dan or Premium, and or just the fact of not having trying to make it easy, right? I don't need you to sit down for an hour. I need you to sit
Right.
down for 10 minutes, right? Every other day, and have that cadence, right? And more or less have the algorithm, right? So that I want you searching like the algorithm will just start feeding you stuff, right? And there's tons of
Right.
like influencers out there giving great information on these vehicle repairs and these tips and these tricks and whatnot and the other thing. And it's just a hard thing for me to set a schedule of that, and like, and then okay, so you clocked in from 2 to 10, and it's like it's just crazy. And you start
Yeah.
looking at this minuscule level. It's like, this is absolutely insane, because this is something you should be doing on your own. You should
Amen.
be. If you're in this industry as a technician, you should 100% already be doing that, because you're enthralled by it and you're intrigued. And if you're not, I don't think you're in the right career. I think you just show up here to do the bare minimum and then go home. And it's like, that's not who I'm looking for. So
You're a general service
yeah.
tech at that point.
Well, even
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
general service, I mean, they should be more apt to do it than anything, right? Because
Yeah.
there's so much
Because
more
some of them don't have
information
a
that's that you can
dipstick.
soak up. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I mean, and I would never take someone's time and not compensate for them. Like, that's not really the direction I'm trying to go with it.
Right.
Sure.
It's definitely, I need the buy-in. I do coaching meetings, right? I jump on with shop coaches. I do it on my own time, and I get it. I'm the boss and I'm supposed to, and all that kind of stuff. But it's also gotten me
But
where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
you're doing a career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
But
You're
doing
growing.
how many shops did they go to before where they got taken advantage of before they got to you?
It's a fair
And so they
point.
see those same patterns.
It's a fair point. Just like
Yeah.
every employee that's taken advantage of me and stolen from me and stuff like that, right?
Exactly.
So it goes both ways, and that's the problem with always looking for the negative, is you can sit there and knife fight each other all day long and just leave us all cut and
Exactly.
bloody, right? Like, it
Oh
doesn't.
yeah.
Nobody grows that way, right? So
No.
we have to yeah, take that aside, and every single time it's like getting out of a bad relationship, right? You can't just like
Point out
treat
what could be better.
every girlfriend you get like the same, like she's gonna cheat on you. Otherwise, you
Ah.
probably never end up happy.
Don went away on that one.
My headset died. Hold on.
Okay, so we can talk all kind of shit now. Oh, she's back.
Now he's getting after you.
There we go. All right. Were y'all talking shit while I was gone? I couldn't hear.
No.
Uh-huh.
No. Just right when I brought up, breaking up with
Girlfriends.
somebody. Yeah, girlfriend.
Oh, okay. My headset saved me from that conversation. Got it.
Oh, I can repeat it. It's a good one.
No, okay.
No,
All right.
it's the same thing. Something negative happens in your life, and you just instantly want to attach it to it, and so that's what we all do, right?
Sure.
We're all just waiting, right? We're like, oh, this is another evil owner, and he's going to take advantage of me, so I'm not working on my that's my time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so and it just goes back to what we started the whole conversation with, right? Like, having these conversations, or having, like, this is the leadership stuff that we need. This is this, what do you call it, psychological aspect of it that we all miss. We all just think that there's KPIs, there's numbers, and there's a business plan, and there's a sales plan, right? And as long as I execute the sales plan, and I do my marketing, and I do my CRM, and I hire employees, and I pay them, then my business is going to be successful. And it's like, we miss the entire thing, right? It's
Mhm.
like there's this psychological aspect of, like, treating people and talking to them and being a person. Like, man, it's so deep, and it's like completely missed, right? We,
Yeah.
we show up
Yes.
to these meetings, we show up to these training events, right? And we sit in these classes, and they tell you the sales presentation. Say yes on the phone and get the customer in. Perfect, I can do that. Write them up. Do the 300% rule. Perfect, I can do that. Okay, I sold the job. Hire employee, and this is how much I should be making, and your payroll should be 35 to 40% of your gross. And you're like, perfect, it is. All right, cool. Now I'm successful, right? Meanwhile, you're just employee turnover. Nobody likes showing up for work, right? And you're wondering what's going on. It's like you miss the most important part of it. And I'm guilty
Yep.
of it, right? It's like you can't execute the business plan without fixing the business man or woman, I guess, whoever, right?
The
And I love
business
That's
that
right.
person,
saying,
you're
right?
right.
That's
It's the
right.
mentality. It's the way we think.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And I think a key word that you just said there is communication. It's finding communities that you can go to, because if you're not doing coaching, if you don't have someone that you're coaching with, right? Because it's not one size fits all, right? I can sit here and tell you, hey, here's how I would do it. Doesn't mean it's right. But going and having a community that you speak with, being like, hey, I'm running into this issue. Have y'all ran into it? What do you do about it? And same thing for techs, right? If techs are like, hey, I'm running into this issue often. What do y'all do about it? Right? Setting up community, asking how other people are dealing with things, and then trying those and implementing them. And if they don't work, trying something else. But making sure you're reaching out to others and getting
Absolutely.
that input, I think is
I love that.
super important. Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, it's been I think this turned out pretty good, huh?
Yeah. A lot of
I'm
good
impressed.
information come out of this thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, speaking of
I knew
communities,
it would.
Dawn, what's that?
Every time we're on together, we have a good conversation.
It's always good.
Mm-hmm.
Like-minded individuals,
Yes, sir.
just a
Yep.
decade
You
or two
remind me
apart.
of your younger me.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna say
wish
just a
I was that
decade or
age
two.
again.
So Dawn, I didn't really at the beginning we didn't really get into much of your background or what it is, but you're getting involved. You got a podcast, and just what's the deal here?
Yeah, the deal is so Buckaroo, Buck and Bob here, aka John, is my uncle. So he is my
Great
grandmother's. He's my great uncle. He's my grandmother's brother. So I basically came from home inspections. Left there, went to work for multi-trillion-dollar 401k company. Left there because I was cog in the wheel, like we were talking about. Even though the money was good, I was a cog in the wheel. So left out of there. And started going back to school. And John said, hey, I need some help with some website stuff. And I was like, this poor man, I know he's never going to figure this out. Let me go help him. And not that I knew much, but damn, did I know more than him. So went to go help him out. And I got to talking to him about, because I've been in the coaching sphere for a while. I found out that he did coaching, and he was just a big part of the automotive community in general. And I really liked how his goal is to really uplift everybody in the automotive world and make sure that he's leaving it a better place than he found it. And I wanted to be a part of that. So I joined on with him in October of last year with the Texas two-step training. So we bring in trainers from across the U.S. and Canada to Texas once a year, and we show some love out here. And then we also do mileage may vary. Basically, our mileage varies. He's been doing this for a long damn time. Look at that gray hair. And I'm new to it, so our mileage varies. But we just like to talk a little crap and teach each other stuff, and then see what else everyone else got going on. But that's basically what I do.
That's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's been a blast getting to meet everybody. Everybody's been so nice. I mean, there's been some not nice people, but mostly everybody's been real nice.
Name one not nice person. Name one.
Hey, I'm trying to make sure he gets sponsorship deals in the future.
Probably
I'm not about to mess that up.
Probably like Mike Cleary.
Oh yeah, that guy.
It had to be Mike
Clary. Man, I will say Mike Clary is one of my favorite people in the automotive industry so far.
Oh, that's nice.
Dude, we've had such good laughs at our last Texas two-step training event. He was a trainer there. And oh man, we gave John shit and we laughed the whole time. It was so fun. I like Mike. Don't tell him I said that though. His ego will get too big.
Bigger than it already is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if anybody wants to get in touch with you,
head.
What's the are you on Spotify podcasts? What's the channel?
Yeah,
Is it up and
so
running?
right now we are on YouTube and Facebook. MMV Pod you can go to Mileage May Vary on YouTube.
YouTube, okay.
Yes, sir. I am still trying to figure out, I'm new to the podcast world, so we're still trying to figure out the audio portion of it, which I may hit you up for questions on that.
I will help you with that. Yeah, that's easy.
Thank you. honestly, if you want to see a lot of the fun stuff, go onto Facebook. You can follow myself, Dawn Sloas, or you can follow Buckaroo, Buck and Bob here on Facebook, and you'll get to see Mr. Mo Money. That's a character, ain't it? I'm asking you, Bob. And he's like, yeah, but
that is my character. Yeah, that is
mhm,
promote the automotive industry, promote the people in the automotive industry. That's what he's all about. You know, I call him the evil shop owner. You know, because I'm making fun of the guy that's wearing nothing but gold. You know, and some people think the evil shop owner, that's all he does is make money hand over fist, and he can afford all the bling bling. But
mhm,
I want to bring reality to it. I am making fun of the evil shop owner. I wish that people that are uh, consider themselves the evil shop owner could come over and see what we do and what we go through all the time, as
mhm,
being a good shop owner, as being somebody that cares for the automotive industry.
mhm. And he gets to wear a shiny gold jacket, so and be
That's
the
the best
center of
part.
attention. Yeah,
And get my dollar sign too, baby.
there
I'll
we
have to
go.
check. You have to check that out to see more.
Oh
Jump on
yeah,
Facebook and follow that.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. He went to Tools in the Get Up, and he had. I'm glad I didn't go. I would have been embarrassed. But he had light up shoes and everything. It was crazy. I
Well,
stayed
That's
home for that
awesome.
tools
one.
is
That sounds
where
about right.
yeah,
Hmm.
tools is where all of us trade jackets at, you know. And we
Okay.
That's
had the
right.
big jacket contest. Benji won it last year, you know, and I was like that close from beating no bread out of it this year. I was that close, but he got uh, a circus ringmaster's. Excuse me.
Oh
He had a
man.
circus ringmaster's outfit, hat, cane, stick, and all. He just beat Mr. Mo Money by a little bit.
There you go. Last place you can find us is mmvpod.com. That's M as in Mary, M as in Mary, V as in Victor, pod.com. We'll have all our episodes there. That links to YouTube.
Awesome.
Texas two-step training.
Yep. You can also, if
.com.
you're looking for training in Texas, reach out to us. We'll go outside of Texas too, but you can go there.
Yeah, we held an event with Jim and out in North Carolina, you know, and our instructors go all over the place and talk about us a lot. So we're very
Mm-hmm.
supportive of the training industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, John, it was good again to catch up as always. And
I
Don,
love it,
very
Jim.
nice to
I
meet
love
you.
it.
Very
Looking
nice meeting
forward to
you.
jumping on yours
Oh
here
yeah.
shortly and keep spreading the word.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, guys. And then hang